Hey everybody, Jason with Coin Snobs here, and it is dime time. This is the last little bit of customer rolls that Keith had got from his bank before he left. We got, let's see, looks like 16 rolls of dimes. Gonna be going through the usual stuff, looking for errors, but of course, number one, we are looking for silver. Hopefully we can find some 90% silver dimes in here. If not, you know, as usual, we usually find at least some errors, some higher mint states, something. But I'll be looking at every single coin. If I find anything that's cool or outstanding, I will come back and show it to you as I pull it out of the roll. Otherwise, I will do a live wrap-up at the end with the microscope. I'll see you guys shortly. All right, guys, time for the wrap-up. First one we got here is a 2019 Denver Strike. Gonna take a look at that guy to see how well a mint state coin it is. Yeah, it's a pretty good coin. It's got a little bit of bag marks above the ear. A little bit on the cheek. Not necessarily a bag mark, but it looks like some rub, perhaps. A little bit on the torch. Probably about a mint state 65 coin or so, but we'll keep that. Not bad to find in circulation. And again, if I find better 2019s that are better than that, of course, we'll probably put those back in circulation and just keep replacing them until we find the best coins possible. Another 2019D. It's got some bag marks there through the date. Bottom of the bust there. And it looks like through the initials. And a pretty heavy one in the back of his head and a black mark. So we're probably going to get rid of that one. Yep, circulation also showing on the torch. So yep, okay, that one's a no bueno. And next up, got a 1974D. Circulated. However, it is clashed. I'm trying to find the best angle here so you guys can see it. There we go. You can kind of see a little bit of it right there going through the U next to the olive branch. It's kind of hard to get a good view of it here on the scope. But that's actually why there is so many die polishing marks on this, because they were trying to get rid of the clash. There we go. You can see it really well there between the olive leaf and the torch. And then you can see a little bit more right here, up above there. And then there is also a die chip in the U right there in unum. Basically what causes a clash die is when the feeder fails to put a blank planchet in between the two dies. The dies come together and they strike. They'll actually clash together, and the reverse die will leave an imprint of itself on the obverse die, and then the obverse will leave an imprint on the reverse. And they'll keep trying to use these dies because, of course, they have a limited amount of dies to begin with. They're trying to get as much use as they possibly can out of the dies. So the machine operator will actually polish the dies as much as they possibly can to remove as much of that clash as they can. But as you can see, there's almost always a little bit left over. Doesn't add a whole lot of value to the coin, but it's an anomaly and it's cool and we like it, so we'll keep it. And then the next one we've got here, 1990p, but it's off-struck. It's only off-struck by probably 3 or 4%, maybe even less, maybe 2 or 3%, but as you can see there's a huge heavy rim there on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, there's very little rim. In fact, there's a little bit of folded over metal right here on the rim because it's become so thin. Not a very good die state. Same concept on the reverse. It's also got a little bit of strike doubling, as you can see there, through the United and the States. A little bit more in America. Strike doubling, of course, not being a true double die, but we think it's interesting. A lot of people call that the poor man's double die. And the next ones I've got are kind of interesting. I didn't expect to find these. These are kind of hard to find in circulation. At first glance, just a normal 1970 Philadelphia strike. Something that most people would probably pass over. It's not silver, doesn't look like a big deal. However, if you look at the back of the torch here, there is some damage on top of the torch. It almost looks like crimper damage, but do you guys see the detail in the torch on the very top here, these lines right here? Now, those are uncommon. That's actually called a reverse of 1968. And the reverse of 1968, this particular reverse was first used for 1968 proof dimes. Which, of course, that naturally for the 1968 proof dimes, that makes it common for them. But that was largely restricted to just those proof dimes. For the next 3 years, the design appears on just a few of the 69s, the 1970s, the 1970D circulation strikes. So far, there's not a lot of information on it. They've actually just recently discovered this variety. It's not really an error. I would consider it more of a variety because they did intentionally use the proof dies. But so far as I can tell, it's fairly rare. After 1970, that reverse became the standard for all of the Roosevelt dimes, for all of the mints through 1980. So, pretty cool. And what's even cooler about it is that I got two of them. Same concept. Really bad circulation, but it's another 1970 plane. So those are definitely keepers, because that is definitely an anomaly. Next one we got up is a 2003D. Not a pretty looking coin, lots of nasty bag marks. Really nasty hit there on his side of his head. Reverse, same idea. However, we've got a die crack coming off of the right side of the bottom of the torch right here. A little bit of damage on the torch too, which is unfortunate. However, that's definitely a raised line right there, so that's definitely a die crack. Another keeper. And the next one is going to be our 1963 silver. It's funny because we only found one single silver quarter in that entire box of quarters that we did about a week or so ago, and then out of these 16 rolls I found one silver dime, which I'm definitely not complaining. I just think it's kind of funny. It's kind of like the silver gods are just giving us enough to keep us crazy about coin roll hunting. Regular circulated coin. Not a particularly good strike to begin with. It's a Denver. But silver is silver, and we'll certainly take it. That's pretty much all I found for you guys. I'm going to be doing, again, like I said, next week going to be doing a live stream with some $50, so long as there's no technical difficulties, which there certainly shouldn't be any technical difficulties. I've been working on trying to get it as close to perfect as I possibly can, which, being new at this, isn't going to be perfect, but we're getting there. Thank you to all the new subs that we've been getting. Thank you for all the comments that we've been getting. It's really been nice on this coin adventure to see so many friends and seeing the community come together. It's been really cool talking to you guys. And for now, I'm going to get going. But you guys have a great day, and we will see you next week. Thank you, guys.